Hello, my name is Charlotte, and welcome to the first of a series of me talking about the different stories I'm currently working on. I wanted to start this off by talking about the story that I've been working on the longest. It's called the Takeover Stones, and a huge part of the inspiration for it was actually Legend of Zelda, specifically Breath of the Wild, because the first time I was playing that game, I wondered what it would be like if Link was the villain, because it seemed like he was such an unstoppable force in universe. I thought it would be really interesting to try to figure out how other characters would have to stop him should he become worse than Calamity Ganon and in Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf. I find that such an interesting trope when the almighty hero, quote unquote, becomes the villain and one that's more ruthless and dangerous than the one they defeated. And so that concept is at the very core of this story. And this character, White, is a prime example of it. He functions as an overarching, cautionary tale for the majority of the story. He's not actually one of the main characters. He is a sort of precursor to events that happen actually in the story. And actually his successor has to learn from his mistakes and make sure she doesn't end up meeting his fate in the end. A big part of writing that is learning how to write about how fear and dread kind of grow throughout a story, because a big part of making that whole plot work is kind of preserving the unknown and making sure that the reader knows as much as the characters and that the characters know nothing. However, if I talk too much about that, then I'm kind of spoiling the entire story before I even publish anything. That's why we're starting this series off with White. So the reason this character's name is White is because in universe, it's considered remarkable that he lived long enough for his hair to actually turn gray, as he is the fourth in a series of reincarnated heroes, a handcrafted hero made by the god of creation. He's the only one that lived to pretty much past 50. The hero would be reincarnated about every 2,000 years when the Unmortal, that's what the God of Destruction's monster is called, would also be reincarnated, and it would be the hero's job to take care of it, get rid of it, make sure the whole world didn't end in the process. But however, the first three were able to defeat the monster. None of them lived to tell the tale. None of them survived. However, it kind of became known that this magical elemental person would be able to bend matter to their will and would come and save the world every 2,000 years when that monster arose. So when White came around and defeated the monster, it was this huge, giant celebration. The hero won, he lived to tell the tale, and the monster was defeated. However, as time went on, White's magic slowly started to corrupt him. His power became too much for his mind to handle. He started becoming more violent. He started killing people. He started starting more wars, destroying all of these landmarks, all these places, entire nations even. He kind of became this one-man army, this destructive force with nothing on the earth actually able to stop it. Yeah, I'm not going to delve too deep into how his story actually ends because, again, spoilers, that's pretty much covered in the actual prologue beginning of the book that I'm writing. By the way, this is going to be a book in the future. But I did want to touch on just how much the gravity of what he did will affect the future of the story, because his successor, the fifth hero, is actually one of the main characters, and she does have to deal with the fact that she has to carry this legacy of being this world-destroying monster, even though she herself is not. She's completely in her own mind, but most people seeing her, seeing the hero's mark on her face, on White it's on his neck, that's what that little dot and the two lines are, that's what people assume when they see her. They assume that she's gonna go crazy, they assume that she's gonna go destroy things, so everyone treats her like she is this just time bomb waiting to go off. And I really want to play with that as a writer, because as a character who actually has the power to be that and doesn't want to be that, just kind of gets that expectation shoved on them, I want to really explore just how that breaks her mind down. And again, that sort of loops back to the point I touched on earlier, where the hero becomes the villain, and a villain that's far worse than anything that was ever introduced in the story beforehand. I really, really love that dynamic. I love seeing that in other TV shows, and I really want to put my own spin on that when I make this either a book or TV show or whatever. I really want to play with the fear and dread aspect, again, of that, and kind of play it off of the other characters, as this is something that could have been stopped. It was fully preventable, but the world and the power at play didn't exactly play their cards right. Which is actually another lesson that they can take from White's story, White's cautionary tale, because no one played their cards right when it came to him, so they really have to get it right around this time, because his successor is stronger than him, and she can cause more destruction should things go wrong. Talk more about White. He specifically is also called the Flame Hero. He is the fourth in the series of four, the three before him being earth, water, and then air, him being fire. He can control all heat, he can manipulate fire, he can create it. Think like Zuko, Avatar: The Last Airbender sort of thing. I should specify, in universe, magic is not a common thing. Doing anything at all is considered remarkable. It's not usually considered possible. It's not really a thing where people can just have fire or coming out of their hands or whatever the hell. And so him being able to do that is very scary to a lot of people, and he kind of runs with that over the course of his life, both when he's a good, quote-unquote good guy, and then when he obviously becomes a villain. He sort of runs with the fact that a lot of people would be afraid of him, which kind of hints at his like descent in the future. He is a very like hot-headed, passionate person. Go figure, he's a fire guy. I wanted to kind of like base him off of a lot of like DreamWorks style villains, where it's not quite pure evil Disney, but it's very, very scary and maybe shouldn't be like in a PG story. He's very much the R-rated character in a series of maybe PG-13. I haven't really decided what rating I'm gonna go with this, but considering that my family's gonna read it, I'm gonna go with PG-13, for now at least. But yeah, no, White's a character I have a lot of fun writing. I really should have found a way to include him in more spots of the story than I have, just because he's so much fun, and how he interacts with the other characters is just so fun. I love writing that kind of like very flamboyant, spooky kind of guy, and he really just kind of rolls with that aesthetic, and I've kind of used that as an excuse to write that more. But yeah, so I really, really hope you guys have enjoyed this. I think I'm kind of running out of time, or I'm starting to at least. I hope you really liked kind of seeing how I do my art. This is like a basic speed paint. I did this in about, I want to say, an hour and 20-ish minutes off of a sketch in my sketchbook. I really do like how it turned out, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'll leave talking about the rest of the story for next time. I'll probably start off with White's successor. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything, if there's any comments, I guess. I don't know how to do this YouTuber thing. I am still learning how to do a lot of this audio stuff, so I apologize if it sounded a little crunchy. I am working on getting my hands on a microphone and all that. Let me know if there's anything specifically I said here that you'd like me to talk more about, or anything that you're interested in. I'm hoping to do, like, at least upload these maybe like once or twice a month. I'm hoping. I am still a college student right now, so I'm hoping that that schedule won't kill me. But yeah, if you'd like to see more of my work, feel free to check out my Instagram. That should be linked in my bio. The music is credited below as well. But yeah, I'm hoping to post animatics and animations here in the future, so I hope to see you guys around.